Welcome, everyone. Welcome back to another season, Season 7 of RGL Invite Sixes. I'm Jarrett here with Space Ghost with Dolphin on production, here to bring you guys the first match of the regular season for Season 7. Did all our qualifiers, got the 8 teams seated in, ready to go, and getting their games underway, starting on a throwback of a map all the way to ESEA. Granary is going to be played between the two teams, like a G6 and Witness Gaming. Space Ghost, how you feeling about the match we got coming up? Do you enjoy the month off and get ready to go back to the casting business?
Oh yeah, I'm fully refreshed. I'm ready to cast, and it's good to be back, And I'm also really excited to see a Granary. I feel like I think Granary is definitely a controversial map when it comes to gameplay, but personally, I do enjoy even the stalemates on Granary. I think it's an enjoyable map. There's a lot of like little shenanigans that can happen, and a lot of different options for teams. I wouldn't go that far, but there's a lot of interesting things on this map that I like to talk about.
I mean, one thing that you can say about it is, even if there's certain things that people may not like, it is pretty unique. It's a very linear style map. It's not S-shaped. The mid is pretty much do or die when it comes to winning and losing and wiping and things like that. It can operate as a 7 CP sometimes, so there's some more leeway for if you lose some ground, and taking ground has to be less than can't just take it inch by inch really, because you're going to be there forever. So it's definitely a pretty unique map, and it's going to be interesting to see it play it after it has been played for like 3 years or so, and it's going to be especially important for the players to make sure they've used the week to kind of refresh themselves. I'm not really sure if I think this is the like a G6 pick. I'm not really sure if Witness was expecting having to go in this map straight off the bat, but we'll see what both teams have brought to the table for this match between these two teams. And it's probably important since it's a new season. Gonna want to let everyone be up to date on the rosters. Sometimes in the off season, some things can change, and I'm sure pretty much maybe not no one, but a lot of people are like a G6. Which team is that? So it's probably important to go over the rosters for you guys. I'll go ahead and start with the Witness Gaming roster, the champions of last season. Their roster is unchanged. It is Yite and Brandslam on Scout, Laz and Ash on Soldier, Artist on Demo, and Logai on Medic.
And for Leica G6, we have Bomo, aka Bot Mode on Scout, Caps on Scout, Soapy and Bercuso on Soldier, Logan on Demo, and Howard on Medic. And I do have to say, it's nice to see the last season's champions coming back with the same roster. I think that's definitely it doesn't happen enough.
That's always really nice to see. I mean, sometimes things happen, schedules change
Yeah.
or desires
Freo
change,
was
but
a rotating door for many seasons.
yeah, but it's always nice to see, a win happen for a team and then nothing needs to be changed or anything like that. So it's still, all 6 players trying to see if they can go for, back-to-back championship. And like a G6, they're technically a new team, but realistically, like these 6 players, I feel like have been swapping back and forth within the past year, the past 3 seasons of being teammates with each other and not on various different team names. I think except bot mode. Bot mode's probably a little bit new thrown into the mix there, but we've seen plenty of combos. We've seen Rakuso and Caps as a
Caps and Soap, yeah.
Yeah, and Caps and Soap. There's a lot of different combos
Logan
here.
and Caps and Lope.
Yeah,
there's a lot. There's a lot of overlap.
There's so many crossovers in the past year, so it's like a weird way to keep team synergy up, I guess. But this is them all coming together to see what they can do this season. Both these teams are, at least on paper, they're looking for a playoffs appearance. Obviously, for Witness Gaming, it's a little bit more guaranteed as long as they're able to show somewhat of a resemblance of what they did last season. Well, like a G6, it's not guaranteed per se, but for all intents and purposes, I think their chances are relatively all right to be able to take one of the 4 slots. Although, it's going to be really nice to solidify things really early on if they can get what I think most people would consider an upset win for the first week of the season, the first match of the season. So it's going to be pretty nice for them if they can get a safety net, but it's going to be a pretty tall order to try to take down the champions of the previous season.
Yeah, I do think it's important that, especially early on, like the Leica G6 roster has a lot of potential on paper. Like on paper, they have massive potential. I think this season, the regular season for them, assuming nothing disastrous happens, it's gonna be about learning that coordination, learning to get comfortable with each other, just making sure everyone's on the same page when it comes to that kind of playoff push. So I think that's what I assume they're going to be mainly focusing on this season, is that sort of thing. And I think for Witness Gaming, it's about, keeping up their last season form. Last season Grand Finals, they got that, very big upset win over Freo Tech. So I think for them, they're just trying to maintain the course and try to keep up with Proyotech and all their different roster changes.
True. Definitely want to put out a solid performance no matter what. On the map, Granary, let's talk a little bit about Granary. There's probably a lot of things to talk
Oh
about.
yes.
Just not because it's necessarily new, but it's new to a lot of people in terms of it has been played in roughly 3 years, or maybe not 3 years, more like 2 years realistically. It's only season 7, so I don't think we've really hit the 3 year mark yet. But it feels like 3. It's been a while. Last time it was played was ESEA season 31, and even then that was like I don't know. I don't think very many people were playing Granary too much because of the pick ban system and all
Oh
that.
yeah,
But
yeah.
I mean, it would show up occasionally. So I'd say maybe like half the players in the server have gone through the grind of the Granary area of TF2, while the other half, I'm sure they're familiar with the map and its existence, but because it doesn't really exist too hard in Puggin culture, especially if it's not even in a season, it might be a little bit more newer when you compare it to other things like playing Process and Snakewater and Gully day in and day out. But let's name a couple quirks about Granary. I think we already mentioned a few before, but let's start uh, pushing your buttons a little bit about
Ooh.
some of them.
All right. Well, I think one of my favorite parts of the map is definitely the drop down on second, but the drop down kind of a very unusual flank. But I guess the first thing to talk about is the first thing that happens in the match is mids. The Granary mids are definitely very explosive, you could say the least. That there's some classes where you just show up the Granary mid and your team's just like, yeah, you can die. It just happens. It's kind of it's out of our hands.
Akin to somehow like some gully wash mids go out where like, yeah, you're just gonna die trying to get through big door. Sorry, medic. It's kind of the same thing here, except it's much more streamlined as a like, yeah, that's probably happening almost every mid unless we're lucky. Where if they want to kill your medic or they want to kill your demo and that's like their entire strategy, they can make that happen. You just as a team have to accept that that's going to be the loss that you take most likely and try to make it as difficult for them as possible to actually achieve that and make sure that's the only thing they achieve and the rest of your team can live at least most of it. So mids are definitely going to be very important. I've seen plenty and played in plenty of matches on Granary where a team, if they're dominant enough on the mid where they can come off without a scratch, they can actually start getting into last if they so desire before the rest of the team has fully even respawned yet. It can be pretty scary sometimes. You can really steamroll it depending on how things go. But generally, Granary is a little bit of a bloodbath when it comes to the mid fights, so I would be kind of surprised to see that too often. But there's some other areas that you might be kind of surprised to see happen. We've seen slow-paced Granary games sometimes. We talked about a little bit before how it can operate kind of like a 7 CP map because of the way
Yep.
that teams can hold yard in between mid and 2. So it's really difficult to like you can take a little bit of ground, like you can take a successful fight, but it doesn't necessarily steamroll you into the next point. If you own mid, 2 successful fights does not necessarily mean you've already capped last compared to other maps. So you definitely have to be much more consistent with your victories, and that's why you can see so many back and forth games. But there's some strats you can do when it comes to, like we said before as well, that this is a very it's a linear map. It's not S-shaped. So because of that, it's much more wide when it comes to door choices. And it's actually one of the most popular maps to just do raw back caps on,
I was gonna
especially
say that. I was
yeah.
I was sitting on that one. I'm glad
What's
you brought
what's
it
your
up.
yeah, what's your experience with back caps on this map
It's if
space?
you can get behind. I believe even Marmaloo back in the day used to run Pain Tree on Soldier in this map, just because if you can get behind, it takes people so long to run back for you. And there's shutters, there's health packs, there's a lot of tools for you if you're behind the enemy team. That it's one of the best maps, in my opinion, for just like raw going behind plays. And I think a lot of players in the server are kind of known as going behind players. I can already imagine Laz going behind a couple times, creating some chaos. I think it's definitely a good card in the deck, so to speak, of things you can do in the game.
Yeah, there was definitely a I don't think they relied on it so much later on, but there was definitely a early area of Witness Gaming where they were just going behind constantly, and this is a very deadly map to go behind on if you're able to execute it properly. Even just like going behind from mid through garage into the enemy teams too, or even just backcapping last through like upper late, like just by hiding in lunchbox. There is a lot of damage you could do. You can take a lot of ground really quickly if the enemy team is unable to make sure their doors are all covered. So it's going to be pretty important to make sure everyone's on the same page. I mean, you haven't had too long. You had like a week to make sure that everyone's got their doors covered. Make sure everyone knows like where they want to be putting themselves for transitioning in between the points, or even just like getting in and out of yards. Since, like you said, it's basically a 7 CP. I mean, the art is a point in
Oh
itself,
yeah.
in some capacity. So, gotta make sure you're on point with that, or you might just lose a couple rounds from just straight up back caps, and that's about it.
Yeah. Speaking of players getting a week to get on page, I think it's another thing you can talk about is some team I compared to other players in this server, you definitely have some teams have just have more boomers. So I think over the course of the season we will see the Zoomers haven't really had the experience on this map. Some teams will probably just insta-ban this map every time, you know? Compared to like both these teams have pretty old players who kind of have played the map. You know, the bot mode, Rakuso, and on the other side we have Laz, Yite, Ash, players who just played this in Invite back in the day when this actually was played. Whereas you have newer players, you know, Soapy, you have let's see, Artist, you have players like that who just probably haven't played this map before the season in Invite. So I think that's definitely one thing to consider just over the course of the season is that whether we see this map or not really depends on how many boomers the team has.
And it makes you kind of think, like, I wonder why G6 picks this map. I wonder if it's because they got their minimal practice on it and they're like, wow, we're actually way better at this than we thought, or if it's just straight up looking at Witness Gaming and seeing like, okay, well they won last season, so maybe we should try to like, throw a curveball and try to go for the upset win. Or maybe it's a combination of both, but either way, they got to have some sort of game plan going into this. So I'm curious to see what they're actually going to try to pull off. I'm sure that if you're picking this map, you have something already like in the books. You'd be like, oh, we can do that and try to win. So I'm curious to see the pace at which they're going to play this map.
Yeah, I'm curious too. This map definitely has the potential to be either really snowbally or really stalematey, just kind of depending on how it goes. So that's one thing we'll have to see is whether whether people can actually translate the successful pushes into things, and whether one team, because if one team is really bad at those backward transitions, it could turn against you very quickly. But if you're good at those backward transitions, you can turn a lot for it could turn into the 7 CP, as you said, where there's just now you have 7 control points to deal with.
Yeah, it might just come down to time too. And we've seen plenty of matches where it's like, oh, 3-2, and that's about it. It's because the teams are
Yeah.
pretty even. But it doesn't happen all the time. There's plenty of times where if things are a little bit lopsided, that you can just keep the train rolling and get round after round after round. Which, considering this is early on in the season and the teams are like still getting their synergy together, they're still making sure that they have Granary down in the first place. It's really hard to say where skill levels lie. When it comes to like raw predictions for who's going to win, I am not. I'm obviously I'm gonna, at least for me, I'm gonna put my money on Witness Gaming just because they won last season. But it's kind of hard to say exactly how much they would be winning by in my
Yeah,
prediction.
I definitely think playing on this map makes the kind of mental calculus a little more hard to do, just because I think it's much more of a wild card map, even more so than like playing a Koth map. I'd say I feel like Granary is just kind of its own beast, so to speak. Last minute before I believe we're going to be readying up soon. If you had to pick, MVPs or players that will really stand out this match, who would you pick?
I'm definitely watching the pocket players because there might be some sick exchanges that are going to be needed. I'm also definitely watching the demo men of Logan and Artist because this is a very hard, at least in comparison to other maps, map to backwards transition on as demo. It's very easy to get caught, and because both these demos are quote-unquote new to Granary, they are going to be put under a lot of stress really early. But we are going live into the first match of the season, Granary, between RGLgg and Witness Gaming, as we have to sit through this very, very long roll-up before they get to mid. So curious to see how exactly the mids are going to be played. Upper or lower?
I want to see who even gets to the mid first. Okay,
True.
both of the demos arrive at like the same tick on the map. Actually, a lot of catwalk shenanigans happening, but both soldiers now high bombing going in. Lance is actually landed on the little fence post, and here comes the soldier, and Howard gets air shot. Oh no.
They were not prepared for that. Everyone looked up at the lamppost and no one could do anything. Now 3 people left alive, just trying to work their way over to Low Guy to see if they can kill him, but he's pretty healthy. Logan 60 HP, can't really commit. Both scouts are, just kind of chilling. It seems like Witness Gaming gonna go back up, make sure they're healthy, actually rotate to the other door to try to get some sort of entry going over the side that isn't trapped. Work their way back into mid, have bot mode trying to apply a little bit of pressure, but immediately melted by both the scouts. And it seems like the remaining players of RGLgg are gonna go ahead and cut their losses, back up, and took a little bit, but Witness Gaming were able to take the first mid.
Yeah, that was I like that kind of heads up play from them, that they realized, we won the mid, let's not risk anything, we could just back up and repush, and they don't really have the players to stop this in it super well, and I kind of like that, they have the Uber ad, and they know that they have the time to make this count in a second, and they can really steamroll all of it, and why risk like, doing anything super aggressive like that when you have, full Uber ad?
They worked their way into 2 for free as well, so this Uber is pretty much saved. I think they've recognized that because this took a little bit and they took it for free, it might be a little bit hard to just straight up use. You know, the Uber's pretty much dwindled at this point. Howard's 5% away, and they're going to go for a sack. Oh, I think the Soldier kind of hit his head, but they're really rushing in really deep. Both scouts are actually entering into the field, getting on to Logan. Actually, Logan dying, not necessarily with Howard there, so able to collect that Delman and trading 2 for 1. So, I mean, it's not exactly what they wanted, but they'll take it. Delman's a nice pick to have, but now Red Team kind of on the move a little bit. Might be difficult for them to sack, though, because they are down a Delman. It's not really, you know, super desirable to die right now, so...
They do have 2 soldiers, so they definitely can still peek and spam, which is one thing, because that is one thing we didn't even mention, is that this map has a lot of shutters on it, and in general, I think it's considered more of a soldier map than most maps, and soldiers definitely have a good old time spamming the shutters, so that's one thing. If your demo's dead and you can't watch those shutters, you can get spammed, but, you know, like a G6 are able to recover from the demo pick, because they had the similar times, and we do have the Yite sniper.
Okay, looking over to the shutter. Look where Howard is, by the way, while we're waiting for the sniper to actually deep peek. Howard's just on the pipe.
You love to see it. Yeah, I don't even know if Blue... I don't think Blue even knows where Howard is. I don't know if they spotted him yet.
Not yet.
It might take a while. They might sack... They have to sack him to find him, and then they can do their actual sack.
Yeah. I mean, realistically, with the gun right there's no angle to spam it, really, so Sniper is kind of the play. Well, they have to make sure they don't actually lose too many people. They are...
Here comes a super high bomb from Soapy. I don't think they're expecting to get Soapy massive damage, and almost doesn't get Branslem, but Branslem is going to get cleaned up. So that's 2 picks on last, but pushing out a greater last can be kind of hard, so we'll have to see what they do here and how do they try to get this force.
Yeah, they got no scouts, but all the spamming classes are still there available for the blue team to use, like P6 poking around. The Engineer's still poking around as well.
He has so many pistol bullets.
True, that is very true, but I don't think they're really moving too much. I mean, they have all their spamming classes up. You're gonna waste so much health actually walking through there, so they don't want to risk it, just staying at last, at least for now. But they've got an idea. I mean, they worked the way in a little bit. They have an idea where some things are. Bot mode hasn't even moved his gun or anything, so they know which door that's covering more so than anything else. But I guess the ball's still in the blue team's court. They're trying to run the way in. Brandsame is gonna die. Oh, Logai taking a lot of damage, though. The force actually coming in from Soapy went up top and did a lot of damage and made sure that the force is happening. I think actually Logai got damaged through the shutter maybe as well, but either way.
I think that was combined spam. I didn't exactly see what happened, but it's very hard. It's very hard to get a solo sack in that situation. So Red do have a full Uber to push out of last year, and Blue is very close, but it
bot
is
mode.
Pushing out last is hard, and where's bot mode? Oh no.
He put the gun at the shutter.
Oh, I love it. This is perfect gameplay.
It's not really in range, though. You have to go really deep for that gun to shoot anything when they don't want to because of the Uber, so I don't think it's going to do much, but they're starting to walk through the doorway now. Some of the Witness Gaming players are in position to try to go for a spam play. Actually, Soldier initiating bomb from Laz, and the Uber is going to get forced played for him. Still lives at least a little bit longer, but it's enough time for Witness
to... They can maybe try to do something.
Maybe. I mean, they do have some ability to spam, can try to poke through the shutter while these people are capping and try to farm some damage, but they almost have the Uber of themselves. They're buffing themselves up, make sure they're healthy, getting themselves situated, and now it's time to pick a door. Looks like they want to move over to Lunchbox. Yeah, Lunchbox is the play. Question is upper or lower?
How early are they spotted, too? I don't think anyone spotted them yet, so this could be very good for Blue Team if they're able to get in deep, and the gun is still there. I think... Yeah, I respect the gun. You know, they're making people... They're wasting bullets, and they Ubered into the gun.
A gun down immediately through the door, trying to work way over. Bombo drops on another one, dropping very low, dropped to 12 HP. Well, Artist is going to die, though, in the middle of the Uber. So many players for the drop from the side of Witness Gaming for that post Uber. No one collected the execution of Witness Gaming's Uber. I think it was just thrown for a loop because of the center gun, and they weren't able to actually get any kills, only losing players themselves. So it's just Yite and Logai left alive. They have to go all the way back to mid as G6 reclaims their second retaking yard. And with this Uber, they can start pushing back into mid. Witness Gaming soldiers have just spawned right now. They're not in position to spam.
Yeah, that is one thing, quickly before they push, is that this is a really memey off-classing map. I will say that. But Red Team have pushed into mid here. Blue Team does have 65%. They're just waiting, you know. They're just trying to spam here and buy some time. And it looks like Red Team, you know, like at G6, they are... Actually, I said they were going to give it to them, but it looks like they're peeking... Oh, here they come. They don't want to give them this time. And here they already... They're not going to... Oh, they're not getting... They get Artist.
Those
they get Artist.
Transitions.
That is a big kick, but now Blue has a full Uber to work with, and Rakuza gets the force very early. Soapy's a little caught behind, but that might be all they get here. And they have a player behind to deal with.
Now Soapy's drawing people back as well. They're going back for Soapy, but they're leaving their soldiers for dry. And the air shot from Logan. Holy. Sent to the grave, and that's
Soapy's
2 down, 3 down.
Branslem tries to take the 1v1 for Soldier and Lunchbox, and that is a very easy way to die on scout. Like the G6 are just collecting all of the kills in the server right now. It's just Logai, and the Artist is a fresh spawner. And Logai is hurt. Is he gonna make it to spawn? There's no bandy by there. Okay, he does make it back.
the demo class can only do so much, especially when you're the only one. And that play from G6, they just went all the way. Like, it felt just straight up last to last. There was a little bit of some pausing there, but realistically, they turned that round upside down and collect the first round of the season, the first round of the match, 1-0 for G6 on Granary.
I will say, not to call anyone out individually, but I definitely, it's been a while since I've seen the Scout taking the 1v1 versus the Soldier in Lunchbox, you know what I mean? I feel like that's that might be, you know, Bransom's one of the more newer players, and I feel like the older player might not take that, you know what I mean?
That's some serious confidence to go in that tiny little corner as a Scout.
Yeah. You have to really believe in yourself.
Oh, the Soldier Bomb's coming right off the bat, but the fakes of the Witness Gaming Soldiers aren't necessarily landing, but meanwhile, Rakuso's trying to land on a low guy.
He's actually
gonna dip. Low guy just dips into his this is a medic fight. He kills Howard. Howard surfed and the low guy. He got two! He killed two players, it's just Rakuso left alive. He will take down Yai with his last rocket, but Ash and Branslam will be the sole survivors of that min. We talked about how Granary could be a bloodbath for the mid-fight, but I did not expect it to be the medic of all classes that would be collecting those kills.
You know, medic, you know, people say that medic isn't a fragging class, but you know, I think low guy's already in first place. You remember last season how we said that low guy was probably in first place for bow kills? It was either low guy or May. Low guy already in #1 for med kills so far this season, and he might not lose it at that rate. That was a pretty good start.
Well, they're trying to dry this early. Both medics died, so they're just going straight off positioning. But Soapy, in with the flank behind through mid, getting so much damage. Not necessarily getting enough kills to completely end the fight immediately, but so much damage that they can't actually continue fighting long-term. Artist barely escaping in Garage. They're chasing him at least a little bit, but no, the arrow will come through. And that flank from Soapy, it may have only killed like one person, I think, but that did so much damage to low guy, which means he could no longer heal the people that were actually fighting. And those people in the yard aren't going to get heals. The fight's just over. They're dead and gone. And now
I think
G6,
they might try to push off the 2 soldier picks they got.
Sure.
They thought about it. Are they able to get through? They are able to get through. It's just a Scout here versus 5 players. Oh no, and it's instantly gone. And here that it's Ubers are even. And they're only down a Scout, and they have to walk through these shutters. This might still be a tall order push, but they did get, you know, one of the points, so to speak. They got Yard, which you take that. That's definitely a victory. If you can take Yard and you don't have to Uber, you're probably pretty happy there.
Yeah, there's no flank scout, so if anything, this would be like a lunchbox dismantle, but it doesn't look like they're doing anything spare, just sending Soapy in. So I'm surprised they're kind of making it a 1v1, but maybe they just want the surprise factor. Now they're finally moving over some people, at least a little bit. When Soapy finds the soldier here, yeah, not going to really find too much success. They're spamming a little bit, they're peeking around the corners, but not really going to find anything. Bransom almost dies, able to get arrowed up. Same with Bot Mode, who will also receive an arrow of his own, so... Yeah, not really going to find too much there, but on the move, in through Z, damage on Rakuso, immediately right after that, sent down to 15 HP, has to jump away. They're taking so much space, trying to find their way through to retake down Rakuso, leading the charge. Yeah, he's looped all the way. He wants to take this 1v1 with Soapy behind to mitigate the fact that the respawn is going to be a play, and yeah, immediately kills him. Bobo going back to deal with him.
On the high ground, though, it's going to collect the fact. I'm just watching this 1v1.
This is a big distraction as well, so Witness Game can find an opening to make sure that they are able to find a way through these doors as well. Oh, they're actually sending another one back, so it's a 2v1 on the mid. The soldiers enter mid, and Ash is initiating in as well.
They're so hurt, though.
They successfully found a way to loop themselves all the way around back to mid and make sure that those people that went back and rolled out are dead. And take down Caps as well. They lose Ash for it, though, but Yite still on a frag chase, making sure that mid is theirs for his team. Will eat a pipe from Logan, though, so will fall down to the grave, but I think it's probably enough to at least solidify Witness Gaming at mid at the bare minimum.
Yeah, neither medic popped Uber during any of that. I didn't see really what happened to the combo, but those players able to get behind was such a massive play. You know, I don't think Bot Mode expected, or just he couldn't deal with the 2 players behind. I don't blame him. The 1v2 after you're already hurt, there's no chance he wins that. So however that soldier got behind, that was a miracle play that really saved that push.
So Soapy was dead, and then Bot Mode was the last remaining player on the flank who went back to deal with the 1v1 that Soapy lost. So the flank was completely open. So I think a soldier went through like right yard and went into garage and turned the 1v1 that was taking forever into a 2v1 and killed Bot Mode. So.
And here we have the classic mid to, I would say mid to second, but it's not mid to second. It's the mid to yard stalemate. Truly an all-time classic on Greenery. And we'll have to see how Witness Gaming elects the sack here. They're just kind of poking and prodding right now. Oh, here we go.
Oh, the bomb on the last, from last.
Yikes,
oh, it's
so
a 2-man. Yeah, he's all the way in there.
He-
Shutter,
why
he's
is he
still
still alive?
alive. He's
Okay.
buying so much time, will eventually die, but I'm sure they're willing to take that. They lost 2, but there's a lot of weak players in the red team, so going to take them a bit. But they are starting to poke around through the choke, trying to work their way in. But the
There's a
trap
trap kill.
onto Soapy. Artist is going to be able to collect that
Rugusa
kill
might
and
be
meet the
caught out.
Ragusa. Yeah, he is trying to get out of there. Will find success, so only losing 1, but with Disad, it's not a place you want to be. And I think they just showed their only soldier getting out through chokes. That means Garage is pretty much free, spam
flank
free,
push.
going
Here we
through,
come.
yeah, into left yard for free, maybe even Lunchbox continuing the charge. Yep, still the play. Upper or lower is now the question. Lower it is. And second is pretty much free. They could even use
they
this
get
even
a
for
trap
last if
kill,
they're
though.
quick
That's
enough.
definitely pretty big getting that trap kill because that just means one less player to really deal with this incoming push, and they have to have people capping it. Artist is gonna fall to this.
I think it was just spam, or maybe it was a
I
trap. I
heard the
didn't
sentry
see.
shooting him, but yeah, I think it was just spam and the sentry shooting him. There was shenanigans happening there. Sophie is gonna fall, but Lol Guy's so hurt he has to get this force off.
Oh, yep, the Howard very close. The
It's a
Uber
scout
change is
solo
gonna
versus
come out.
flashing. They had to flash so much.
Yeah, and there's no stickies available for the side of Witness, so if Red Team wants to, they can flood their way in through at least the spam through these doors. Witness Gaming initiating in, but yeah, pushing him back out through the shutters. With Sophie dead as well, it is not something they really want to fight too hard. And Witness Gaming are actually bringing their scouts over in the side of their own left yard, trying to work their way in, but the gun is going to thwart them at least a little bit, stuck inside the shutter.
Oh,
But
Ash.
Ash is set up into the stratosphere, will fall down and fall into the grave. And Yike like it too, so
2K.
2 kills from that dry fight into a sentry gun that they did not expect, thwarts their push, and the red team now have a pick advantage to try to work their way in and immediately Capstein to a trap. Gonna equalize that just a little bit, but there is some
It's only
opening
a
for
scout.
scamming classes.
Yeah, it's only a scam. We'll have to see what they do. I'm actually amazed that Ash didn't get air shot when he got sent up to the skyblock, so he's got to thank his stars for that one that he didn't get frag videoed. But that's kind of the only. I guess they kind of
This ad,
equalized
though.
in the end.
This ad though,
Oh, it is this
they
ad,
built
true.
so
They
built
actually did
so
build
much
so
more.
well.
And they Ubered first and they built so much more, but I don't think it's not something you can necessarily bank on. They don't know it exists,
Yeah, I don't-
but
yeah.
it might.
The
so
only
if
way
they're
they can
close
know
enough, they
is
go.
if Wolguy peeked at the head and like actually looked at the medic with the
Yeah.
solemn vow, and that's a little bit of a tall order on Granary.
Yeah,
Not
too
that
risky.
doable. Yeah.
No
So it's just
vision.
gonna equalize. You know, no big deal with that one. Kind of just back to square one. So
Hold bombing from last. He's making some space. Immediately
Oh.
onto Howard. Howard didn't see where he landed. He didn't even turn to look at
that was a
Laz.
headshot rocket too.
Yeah, he can't even surf it if it's a headshot rocket and you're not even looking, so just free Uber for the side of Logan will finally pop it in, chasing into the rocket
Sophie
spawn
trying to
area,
spoon
and
Artist.
Logan just in the corner, last one alive, will survive the Uber, but will eventually die here to Artist, and that is a round collected for the side of Witness. I'm unsure how Laz got, I mean, I know I saw his bomb, but I don't know how Howard didn't see it. I guess there was some other threat, but either way, that medic kill just immediately solidified Witness Gaming being able to have an opportunity to push in and take that round.
These sacks are getting a lot deeper than I expect. Maybe it's just the rust, or maybe it's the new map, or maybe new map comparatively in the pool. But I'm surprised how deep a lot of these sacks are getting. Like 2 players are just getting in, and they're getting by medics and just not getting shot at until the medic's already forced.
I guess it's expectations of what doors need to be watched and what things come through.
Logan's
Immediately,
might-
pile on
Logan-
the lamp once
He
again.
fell
Logan
off.
is going to fall. No down for the red team. Laz jumping in. Howard is going to surf at least a little bit. Both soldiers expanded.
comes
But
the
Sophie
big
going
bomb.
in. Missed shot on the Logai, and Logai will survive 2v2 in terms
Here
of
comes
death.
the follow-up.
Ragusa committing
The
in, trying to
pro
get some
saves
damage.
him.
And Artist kills him as well, so player advantage coming in for the side of Witness Gaming. Bot mode is still really deep, actually getting a lot of damage to the brain, so gonna commit to see if he can out damage the heal beam, but is not gonna find success. Gonna be the martyr for his team to go ahead and run away and be safe. So Witness Gaming finding success, they're taking that mid, and it's looking like with those late G6 deaths that second might be free as well.
Yeah, we'll have to see if they fight it, but that was a heads-up play from bot mode there, making sure his medic couldn't get out safe with Uber. You know, nothing's worse than losing mid and then being on Granary last where the team is at. It's not ideal, so we'll have to, it looks like Red is electing to give this up for now. You know, even though the smarters are coming, you know, pushing into second, there's definitely a risk at best, I would say.
Yeah, definitely want to make sure that, I mean, there's a party that's like, it's the first match of the season, but there's another party that's like, guys, it's the first match of the season. You know, there's different ways of looking at it, so high risk or low risk is totally up to the teams, but when it comes to Granary, with it has been played in so long, you're probably better safe than sorry. There's a
You're the
less
century.
there's a less comfortable aspect there, you know.
Yeah, definitely. You know,
Gun level 2.
Yeah, one interesting thing to note while we're just waiting for sacks is that the spawn doors on Granary last, you can't banny bind into them, which is honestly a good feature of the map. I like that. You can't just run into the spawn door and click a button and live. So if these sacks do get in, it's going to be hard for Howard to actually not, you know, he can't just run into spawn and hit his banny bind and, you know, just instantly be healthy.
Bot mode level 3 dispenser, please. Just joking.
True.
But
Who said-
I think
Where is this going? I'm looking for it.
he just died before the sentry gun could actually cover him. Just a little bit too deep.
Traded there. Artist is actually in pretty deep too. He's trying to get the spam. They're trying to spam. Okay, they do actually manage to get the gun. You know, that
Oh,
they're
inside each other's models. He got stuck in the corner, tried to walk backwards through the shuttle, and you see how the shutter doesn't go all the way to the wall.
Yeah.
So he was just stuck in the corner and ate the pipes, and now two standing classes down for the side of Witness.
The Rover special that they traded for each other, but you know, down Artist and Laz, they know that that's not the push off of. There's only one spamming class, and you know it's just on Ash to spam this, and he's eating so much damage. They don't want to. Oh, Rakusa does follow.
Yeah,
he's on last turn, ran into the gun.
Didn't even need a chat exchange, able to hold that.
Yeah, I was actually surprised they didn't chat exchange, but that was a heads-up play for them, because now, you know, if they chat exchange, I feel like, you know, who knows what could have happened, but it might have been better for Red, because they could back up the last.
Probably just waiting for the timing, and like, if you're gonna do that exchange just as late as possible,
because if you don't get that force, that's disastrous.
Yeah, you want to make sure that everyone is able to actually participate when they are rolling out, but they're trying. It looks like Bleakin's trying to two-man in some capacity, or at least poke around, but they're able to cause enough chaos to actually get that gun down, especially with
the last
the bomb.
Howard.
So
Howard
much
is so
damage.
Oh, he drops.
He got through the shutter, but didn't close in time.
No bandy bind.
There's no resupply bind.
He honestly probably tried the bandy bind. I feel like he probably hit it, but you know he got Grand Read. As I said, it does happen. So he got to the spawn, but if that was any other map, he would have been able to bandy bind and live. But it's not a Grand Read work. So
actually, remember the other versions of Grand Read that it's not even at the shutters.
Yeah,
as well.
It's way back.
So
yeah,
old Grand Read wouldn't save you there either.
Yeah. Well, I'll have to see. Yeah, so here is full ad. We'll have to see what they do here. I do like Witness Gaming kind of takes their time with these pushes. They want to make sure everything's in the right, you know, all their ducks are in a row, and they definitely have the time for it. So we'll have to see what they do. Bomba does get his gun up to level 3, and it's a decent distraction gun. They pop through here. They do shoot the gun here. Artist tries to bomb the gun, and yeah, both soldiers on the high ground here, and they're trying to play point here.
Oh, they're going really committing onto Brain's Line. Able to collect that kill, but expending both their soldiers for it. 2v2 in terms of death. Pipe onto Howard. Very weak.
Howard is so hurt.
Almost
He has to
dropping
commit,
low.
though. He does have to commit to this.
Yeah, they're able to collect Ash, but that bow from the lol guy. Another kill added to his repertoire. Artist is going to fall. It is a 2v2 scenario, but I think they're going to recognize that with that Howard kill from lol guy, they're just going to play it safe. Go ahead and back up. Disengage. Don't risk it for the biscuit, and make sure that you have your Ubrad for the next upcoming push.
Wall guy, yeah, very uncontested first place in most kills as the medic class, and again, I would be amazed if he lost it this season. First match of the season, and he's already, unbeatable lead.
If it's not him, it's gonna be May. It's gonna be one of the two.
Yeah, it's one of the two. Yeah, and May's on Fryo now, so maybe there'll be more, some more opportunities for him. We'll have to see, but here comes that full Uber ad again. 75%, you take that, and the gun is in a different spot this time, a little bit sneaky, hiding behind the the little concrete barrier. I don't think they expect it. As they Uber in, they do manage to find it and get it, but it's a little late in the Uber.
Yep, both soldiers taking ground on the pipe are going to get spammed at least a little bit. Bomb from Ash trying to initiate onto them. Able to collect Soapy, but Laz will fall. A lot of damage into the red team, and they're just back into a corner. They can start peeking the point at least a little bit, getting the medic on it as well.
A lot of point time. Low guy on the point. Bot mode gonna end up killing the medic here, but the soldier on the high ground, and no one's there to stop it. So that's a 2-1 for Witness Gaming here, and that last push went a lot better than the first one.
Yeah, G6 was very, very much corralled into that corner, and especially they weren't able to put themselves in a spot where they could actually defend the point, spare the stickies. So once the stickies got removed, like Logan's stickies are gone, then it's smooth sailing for the side of Witness and making them just run exactly where you want them to run into, straight into all your spam.
I think it was Ash. Whoever the Witness Gaming soldier was had the perfect positioning there at the end. Just standing on the high ground, looking down at players who can't fight you. Definitely a ideal gameplay from a soldier perspective. And going out to this new mid, Logan is on the crate early and taking damage. He's eating so much damage. He actually needs a bow. He almost died from fall damage again. He did last minute. Howard's gonna fall though.
And then he dies, and Logan dies anyway. The perfect timing from the Witness Gaming soldiers, making sure that Logan and Howard are in the grave. Initiation coming in, trying to collect any frags they can. A lot of damage from the side of Soapy, but will not find too much. Actually, they are finding a whole lot though. The rest of the team chasing on. Little guy will eventually fall. Able to collect Rakusa. 1v1. Nice meat shot onto bot mode. They're both pretty weak.
He doesn't even need. That was a Chad play. He could have ran towards the pack, but he knew he just had to and just get that last 2 shots in, and then he's gonna win. Bobo's actually want more. There's a little kind of a derpy 1v1 happening with the way he juked
Oh,
him.
he just
There's
juked
no
him
way.
so hard.
That's
Holy
Boomer
Bobo.
Gaming. I think Bobo's the biggest boomer in the server, and I think that kind of showed it there. You know, it's been a hot minute since we've seen like, you know, some good bot mode gameplay, and that's I'm glad I got this all there. That was impressive. He even dropped the skis NT bind, which you love to see.
Yep, so ad for the side of Howard because he did die much earlier in the mid. He died to that initial bomb while Howard got chased out of the mid. So there is something for them to work with. Both teams recognize this hard building going on, but the question is with such a small ad, it's like anywhere between 20 and 30 depending on how the building goes. There's not too many options. It looks like they're thinking about choke. They've kind of shown early though that it's going to be choke fast.
Yeah, it's a pretty small ad. They might, I think they might even give up at this point. Or maybe just try to
Blue team has the Uber
yeah.
now though.
Yeah,
They've taken too long.
Yeah, maybe they know it's an exchange and that's why they're just spamming. I really want to see Logan's bomb. What is happening?
Oh, what? Okay, well,
Logan's gonna fall here. Was that air shot?
Rakuso bombed in and got the force on the low guy. Howard has not even used it. Will finally use from the meat shot coming in from Yite. Yite will fall though, so
it's a 3v3, no Ubers.
Yeah, no one's gonna really want to push into the next point and face the enemy team's respawn as well. Theirs is still rolling out, so it's pretty much going to end here, but I think both teams did a pretty good job at making sure that in that really weird like fight that kind of was initiated,
soldiers,
they both found a hole to be able to get the forces off respectively.
Yeah, Rakuso committed for the medic, and I believe it was Laz. Laz got a really nice shot, kind of a wall shot onto Logan, and that was the trade they needed. So, you know, good job from both teams there to manage to not only to get picks, but also to equalize it. And even though reset back to the same situation, it's still maybe not a good play from both teams, but that could have gone very disastrously either way.
Yep. Another 20% ad for the side of, well, I guess it's not another for him, but it's another ad, this time for the side of Logai because he got forced way earlier in the fight. They probably know it exists, but it's way too small to actually use in the mid, so they just have to chill with it and just sit inside yard and wait to see what G6 is going to do to try to break into it themselves. They got some options. Realistically, there's like 3 different things at its core that you could really try to accomplish here. So they just gotta figure out what they want to do here.
Classing too. In my personal opinion, I think Sniper's pretty good at this point because he can kind of just walk into garage and get that first shot off really deep when nobody knows. We'll have to see though. A Sniper, I think Sniper's
and as soon as you
surprisingly
say
good.
that, as soon as you say that.
Did he walk all the way back or did he die? I didn't see.
He walked all the way back for the surprise factor.
You'll love to see it, but I honestly, okay, I know I'm a sniper main, so my opinion doesn't matter, but I do think Greenery is a pretty good sniper map comparatively to some of the other Sixes maps. It can surprise you, especially with the shutters. So let's see, he's going to take the initial shot here from garage. They're definitely not expecting out, but he misses the first shot. Now they know, but he still has some pretty decent angles to work with, but it's going to be a lot tougher now if you miss that first shot. Gotta get your man.
It also makes like the super aggressive like exchange is more enticing to like, or at least maybe not exchange, but just like doing some sort of bomb into garage while you're doing this yard hold, even more enticing.
Yeah, we'll have to see. He's still in the same spot. He knows that someone's probably going to peek it eventually. He did get a nice shot off onto a soldier earlier, I believe body shot him. But it's kind of hard for your team to make space for your sniper in this situation just because the spam angles are really good. Yeah, I think he knows he's waiting. We'll have to see if he goes to flank door or if he just stays here and continues to get beamed, because I think like 10 of the 12 players in the server are now looking at those 2 doors.
Yeah, I mean, realistically, the sniper's existence can cause like some sort of hole in the other parts of the map.
There's no one in garage. Okay, now they rotated garage. I was gonna say there's no one in garage, and they just finally set their flank back over. I guess they're getting buffed, but we'll have to see. But they do have the luxury of time over, because Soapy actually gonna fall trying to go for, I don't know what happened to trade. Trying to sack, we'll see, but that down and bot mode hurt. Bot mode's actually gonna fall. He's gonna crater from spam, so it's not looking too good. And the force.
And Yike got behind his own. They didn't even kill him. He's running all the way
back
to
kill him. They know they know they need to kill him, or it's very quickly.
And through Z going back into lunchbox, they have no clue where he is. He's gonna go drop down and get out. He's going drop down and getting out. It didn't even cross their minds. He is out of there.
He just immediately reunites with Laz. Now they know they saw him with his hat, but still, that was a really heads-up play from Yite there. And he managed to live. Bomb was actually gonna fall, I believe, on a sack or.
He was sniping and forwards. And
oh, was he?
Oh. Yeah.
Unfortunate. You know, it does happen. Sometimes that does happen. And so Howard on 30%, but you know, Witness Gaming knows it. They're trying to push into last immediately. They're only 30%, and they got so deep. And
they can literally chase through the shutter as well. They didn't even need to. They collect the demo and medic with that Uber. So immediately putting themselves onto the point, dragging the soldiers over. They're gonna fall as well. Just bot mode and caps left alive. and bot mode will fall. The cap will go in favor of Witness Gaming, taking this game 3-1.
Yeah, like at G6, they got that first early round, but after that, Witness Gaming, I feel like kind of woke up a little. Or maybe did they get the first round? Regardless, I feel like
yeah, G6 led.
okay, Witness Gaming, I feel like definitely woke up after that, and it was kind of when they finally did get a good advantage or able to push. I feel like they did a very good job, kind of steamrolling those into the through multiple points.
Yeah, I mean, not only is it important for you to like recognize how a team is playing, but it's also pretty important to recognize how a team is going to try to play Granite in particular. Are you going to play really like go behind heavy, or really spam heavy? Are you going to go for the off class strat? Or are you just going to do two mans all the time? Like, what's going to be the thing you do to try to like take points away from us and defend and stuff like that. So once you can kind of recognize that over time as the game goes on, for in both aspects, with recognizing what a team is trying to do and as well as the map, it can get a little bit easier, and it can be unsurprising to see a little bit of a swing when it comes to granary rounds. But we can take a little bit of a look at the stats and see
These are
what everyone
some
has kind of
interesting
achieved.
stats. Well, first, I'd like to shout out to the return of Granary, also return of all the scouts doing sub 200 DPM, other than bot mode with the 203. So that's you'll love to see it if you're a projectile class main. But I think one thing interesting to note is Like a G6 actually out-damaged Witness Gaming by 3,000 damage, which isn't that much, but still, if you out-damage your opponent and still lose by multiple rounds, that's not a good sign, that means that your DM is there, but there's something else going on.
You know what I think that could have potentially been, though? Because they were on last for so long,
yeah, maybe.
because Witness Gaming has to just peek doors over and over and over again to not only get information, but actually execute their
true.
sacks cleanly, that it's just going to be like a damage farm for a couple
It
minutes.
could be, yeah. I mean, you see Rakuso and Ash the Pockets. Well, Rakuso actually doing 287, so Rakuso, even though losing, definitely putting up a pretty decent chunk of damage, more than anyone else on the server, comparatively. Like, that's a solid 1,000 damage just by him alone over Ash.
True. I was really curious about what Rakusa was going to be able to pull off on Granary, because he is one of the probably more experienced Granary players on his particular team, but Pocket isn't necessarily the role he normally plays.
Yeah.
Like, sure, you play it in pugs and stuff, but doing everything in a team environment and having moments where like things kind of revolve around you is an option. So I was kind of curious on like how is he going to try to go about like Pocket on Granary in particular, and how well is it going to work. But it seems like whatever he's doing at least is providing results in terms of his own personal performance, making sure that people are hurt for his team.
I think the biggest diff, honestly, is Howard on these sacks. I'm not gonna say it's Howard's fault, because I think the players are getting in very deep on their sacks. But Howard 0 and 8, Lil Guy 3 and 3. I think that's by far the biggest diff in the server in terms of just stats. It doesn't indicate their performance, although I think Lil Guy had one of the best games, if not the best game in the server.
I mean, two of those, one thing to think about is two of those moments where, like, it was odd, like, oh, what? Howard died? Two of those were drops.
Yeah, on last, too. And, like, in the shutter door, like, those are brutal.
Yeah, I think it was just either distraction or judgment call or something, but it's not...
The two-mans are working very well.
Yeah, it's not necessarily all him, because when it's two-mans like that, you gotta make sure that your team as a whole has got every door covered. Because if there's just one little door, one little window that's not, not locked down, that's how the person is going to get so deep, and that's for literally all aspects of TF2, and it's even more important for this map because of how many doors there can be in certain areas of the map and things like that. It can be a little bit convoluted, so got to make sure you got everything all situated, which you talked about earlier on before this match started. So maybe G6 can take a moment to figure out like where are these people getting in from, and where do we need to reinforce more in our holds to make sure that doesn't repeat itself.
I will say that I think one advantage that G6 is going to have going into the season, or just throughout, is that I think they have the players with the experience, kind of like, not quite as well as Vanny, but they have players on their team who can identify and fix problems. Players like Bot Mode, or maybe to a lesser extent Rakuso. But I feel like Bot Mode in particular, definitely a player who can really identify and fix the problems if you need to. But on that note, we are on to our second half of the game, and like a G6 are down 1-3 versus Witness Gaming.
Yep, we've seen plenty of interesting mids, most of them being pretty heavy bloodbaths. I'm curious to see how this one's going to work out. Spam going across both sides. Both teams kind of rolling out upper. Logan a little bit separated from his medic, but will be okay, at least for now. Get an arrow to continue fighting this on, but A little bit of just spam back and forth. No one really committing, no soldier bombs, at least. The first one might even be a fake. I think it kind of depends on the damage output that's put out by both teams, but just trying to push each other off the crate. Artist will fall down. Laz bombing in. This is actually commit on to Howard, but will miss his first rocket.
Here comes the Ash bomb too, but Ash is going to fall and no damage, and a massive bomb from Soapy gets forced early, and Howard is just barely going to get his Uber, and he just barely gets it off, and Blue is in a very sticky situation. Now Logai's going to try to escape a bomb mode on the chase. It's just going to be Yite behind, trying to take a miracle, and he makes it! He gets Howard at the very tail end.
Wow.
So,
yeah, that was really rough in the beginning. I think the bomb from Witness didn't really find what they were looking for. Like, I saw their landing positions and with their rockets, it didn't really connect. Like,
yeah, Red had I think G6 did a very good job there of kind of kiting those bombs. Like, usually they were kind of forward and they kited into the quote-unquote funny corner. But because they were forward, like, the rockets didn't really hit home as hard as if they were just standing there initially. If that makes sense. I know that I phrased that kind of weird.
No, I feel you. But because the medic died at the very tail end there, it's relatively even for all intents and purposes. It's going to be a last to second stalemate. Free second for the side of G6, just building up their Ubers, and once they get it, going to try to figure out how to break in to Witness Gaming's last. Got a gun set up behind the cement block with the tire on over on the right-hand side in a blue perspective. Seems like everything's pretty much cookie cutter in terms of door control. So it's really up to G6 once they get their Uber situated, figuring out how they want to go ahead and sack in. The gun is probably going to throw a wrench in their plans and try to jump in. But
a new hiding place for the gun. I haven't seen. Oh wait, oh no, is he? Yes, I was gonna say at halftime, I was really hoping to see Rakusa Spy for the memes, and I'm glad it came out. Rakusa Spy just brings joy to my heart. I don't know why. It really doesn't.
Botmo kills Ash?
I think he just walked at him.
He just walked at him.
That was just clockwork gaming. But we do have a sniper shot onto Logan. This might actually end up. Okay,
no!
Wait, are they feeding for the Rakusa back cap? I think they might be. I think they're feeding for the Rakusa back cap. Where is he? Is he in last? Wait. Ash might catch him out. He's just walking around and he's disguised. Brainston walked past.
Dude.
No.
What is happening? What is happening?
Dude.
Rakusa just spinning in circles like what? I'm just watching Rakusa. Oh, he has to get this gun though.
The sentry's still there.
It took too long.
Oh my, funny. Rakusa was just spinning around watching, and he doesn't know what happened. They still don't know.
Oh, he's in though.
Oh, now they know.
Oh, they turned.
That's when I see Rakusa Spy. That's what I expect. He do get Ash. Actually, Logan's just in.
Yep, and really good. I think he kind of accepted he was gonna die and just tried to go for something. But
that was. Whenever I watch Rakusa Spy, I expect things like that to happen because it's always funny, and I'm glad it happened.
Oh,
but there's the
shot on the wall guy,
redeeming himself on sniper there, getting the shot and actually living. So that's a huge play from bot mode there. Big momentum shift as now Red has 80% Uber to work with, pushing into mid, and they're gonna let's see if they actually try to block this. Blue knows if they commit to this too hard, it's gonna be all over for them.
I think they're out. Except Yite's going in to see if he can find anything, but yeah, that's not really gonna find too much. There's like 5 of them all clumped up in the choke, so. Full ad, including a sniper if you feel like you want to use it for something in particular. Might be a pretty deadly last sniper push with ad.
Oh yeah,
yard should pretty much be free.
Very long, so if you don't have anyone to stop that sniper, he can really make some big plays because he has just very long sight lines that are hard to deal for anyone other than a soldier. And here comes the Uber speaking of which, they want to take this aggressive. They know Logai, massive surf, but he lived.
He lives a 4.
Oh, he almost did. They committed for that, and I don't blame them. They're into Logai gonna get chased, but they don't have seconds. Seconds been blocked, and actually Laz is behind. I guess he blocked seconds. This is gonna be a wipe from Red, but they do trade Logai at least.
They have bitten off more than they can chew.
I think they killed a capper. I think he did. I see Logai typing bots in Grinch.
Yeah, I mean, I think it was fine going for the kill in terms of Soapy going for it, but the Uber targets for G6 went really deep. Yeah. Their ending position was not very favorable for them, so it's not too surprising to see them all kind of dying.
In a corner, he does Blaz almost. That was, I'm not gonna say beef, but there was multiple rockets got eaten by Floor, another player. Blaz had the perfect hide in a corner play. Sadly, did not work out for him. So Howard. Gonna be very happy you lived there because he didn't really have that much right to live in that situation.
And with Laz dead, there's a lot of room to move over to the side of the flank. Bot mode actually makes space as well as Soapy.
Logan's just peeking.
They've made so much space. They're actually gonna lose too. Though they've separated a whole lot. They went into both yards and ended up losing both their scouts. I'm not really sure.
Look at Soapy. The heads up play from Soapy. No way.
Oh
no.
He gets the demo.
That was insane. I don't know if you saw, but Soapy jumped up, wall bugged, and they walked past him, and he dropped down and killed the demo. But there's a backhand, or not really a backhand, but they are gonna get mid off that. But that was a really heads-up play from Soapy.
That's some raw map knowledge there.
Yeah. It was really impromptu, you know what I mean? Like, they were chasing him, and they just like, oh, where'd he go? I can't find him. And here, speaking of which, here comes the double sack. They're not going to get in that deep this time. They do trade out Capstone. Here comes the Uber, so it's less of a double sack and more of a push. But
Brandslam's behind
that's a
with
heads-up play,
Kalen
running
too.
behind this Uber, so that's going to be another thing they have to deal with. But the respawners are here and on their way, and Brandslam knows that, and he's going to like to back up, but, you know, it is even... Wait, did Red pop later and still a slight ad? I guess Lol Guy just did.
Yeah, he was out of there. So free mid for the side of G6. I think pushing there for Witness, it was warranted because there were no soldiers, but I think the execution at the end of the day, it just cost them too many players. So unable to fight that at the tail end. But they do have a sniper up in the forward spawn. I don't know how it's going to come into play too much because it's relatively even. If anything, Witness Gaming has ad because they pop first. So yeah, I think Yai is going to go ahead and get a better spot and better angle to use. I guess they're not using the ad per se, which makes sense because it's pretty small. But the kill on the cast, it's a little bit of an opening to start moving.
The sniper. All right. Yeah, you hate to see it. So here they're trying to. I don't blame them. They're gonna try to take a lot of space off this, and Soapy goes in for massive damage and gets Argus. That's a huge pick, and they get Ash off it. So kills are getting traded left and right now, and oh yeah, he gets Logan. That's the one that was a massive play from him because here comes the Uber exchange, and they drop Yai. I don't blame them. Are they gonna? Let's see if they actually get forced here. Okay, yeah, Bob gonna commit for this. He's actually shooting Brandslam. Interesting, but not gonna get the force there, and okay, Caps is going to be able to finish off Laz, but Lol Guy, perfect milk from him. 100% Uber to push into mid here. This is going to be let's see if Red can actually get this force. Might be a tough force because I don't think they want to walk in here using this. That seems kind of hard to get, to use Integrator even to actually get kills.
Yeah, there's also a sniper on the field from bot mode as well, which they can't really know about yet. So it looks like they're just popping right off the bat, trying to get in really deep. But yeah, no one's really there. I think it's just a soldier on the lamp. Is he spotted? Is Soapy even spotted at all? He's on the lamp.
Oh.
Soapy is on the lamp.
They have the boomers. They should know.
Bombing in.
No.
Straight
oh, no.
onto the medic.
Here it comes.
One rocket.
Oh, the damage.
Oh, not quite enough. Sync wasn't
he
quite
had the
there.
perfect sync, but I think he tried to do too much damage to too many people, you know? He didn't, it was just not on the cards, but he had the perfect opportunity there. He might be kicking himself later, because they had no idea.
Yep. Ad for the side of G6, so they're down a couple players. They got 4 people here, bot mode, whirling out on Sniper once again. Kind of curious on why he's on Sniper when their team has ad. Maybe he doesn't know, or maybe they don't intend on using it at all.
Class, you know,
but Laz in behind. They didn't have their lunchbox area set up, so Laz is going behind to see if he can get any kill. Will not find a whole lot of success there. Will die and only put in a little bit of damage to get healed up. But yeah, some time.
They did have to chase him, and now Ubers are even. They were going to try to push this anyway, but this is going to be a change. A nice ball from Ash here. Yeah, good ball from Ash. And Bobo's actually going to follow a trap. That might have been a blinded. I didn't see what happened. They are going to get the force, though, saving Artist, but everyone I read is way out other than Recruso, and he's a... Yeah, oh, they're going to immediately refight this. This is Chad, and I like it. They're immediately refighting. They know that they have some position to work with here. And Artist is caught out. He duped when he should have jived, and here comes a... almost gets the sync, but not quite. So, very good play from Red pushing here into mid. So let's see if they can actually... I feel like this has been really back and forth. I haven't really seen a team get like a super well commit that they can actually set up and try to push last.
Yeah, I mean, you win a couple fights, but if you don't find the consistency, you're just going to end up trading mid and yards over and over again. So we're seeing some back and forth here, but not quite enough to really net any rounds at the beginning here. 10 minutes in to the second half as we see a yard to mid stalemate, even Ubers for the side of both teams. So it's really just up to G6 to try to keep the ball rolling and figure out how they want to break this. Want to force the medic, want to kill the demo, or want to take yard.
Last time they went for the... my most recent memory of this was the bot mode sniper, which kind of ended in a disaster. Not necessarily bot mode's fault, but that's just kind of, how the cookie crumbled. So we'll have to see. I feel like they're probably going to go for a different strategy than just slow play with a sniper.
Trying to make some space. Percuso bombing in. He's committing.
Oh, did he get air shot?
I think he got air stickied or something.
Yeah, he got air stickied, but they do get Yite off that heads up play from Sophie. I don't know if that was just the counter sack or if he caught him out there, but
oh, they're hard committing.
Yeah, there's the teams seem to really like the... I don't blame them. They really like the, two-man on this map, but I feel like it definitely does open people to just walk through doors. And speaking of which, there's Witness Gaming walking through doors, and I guess, they just know they want to back up.
Yeah, it was really high risk, and they found no reward for that. So mid-swing. Witness Gaming taking back mid, and now the ball's into their court. It's the same situation, just reversed. Now Witness Gaming has an opportunity to try to break into G6's yard, and I'm not really sure what they're going to try to do here. Like, I think the setup is really left yard heavy. Right yard is completely empty.
And maybe they don't. I'm not as familiar. I had never played Invite, especially on this map. So I'd have to, dude. I feel like that's definitely just asking to get wrapped by a team, right? If you don't have anyone in right yard, that's just asking for like 6 people to just walk behind.
Yeah, two people or one person will just go behind, but they moved Sophie over, so I think he was just there for a buffer spam angle, and now he's gone over. So pretty much any play right now is probably viable for Witness. So it looks like they're going for the yard
trying to take the soldier 1v1, but Bobo is here to save him, and he just leaves. Doesn't even want to risk dying there.
Yeah, that was a very quick rotation, unable to find anything, so that's not really going to work, at least for now, but maybe a couple tries might be able to get something going, or maybe just go for a different strategy. It looks like Laz is moving over towards choke, so if it's not a scout, it might be him, but it's going to be both actually. Laz jumping in through the choke and Guy bombing at the same time, and back against the wall.
That was through Logan's trap too. I think Logan might be kicking himself there, because that was definitely, he just kind of bombed through Logan's trap as he wasn't watching it, you know. He gotta watch those doors.
Yeah, I think he was looking at garage right when he walked through, so wasn't able to get the dead off. The stick is still there for any upcoming push, but gotta wait for the respawns before you try to push with your ad.
And we'll also have to see if they can actually get the force into yard, if they're gonna have to back up totally. And it looks like they're not even gonna try to get... Oh, yep. Okay, that means they're probably gonna just end up holding last year.
Yeah, they're willing to give it up.
Do you think they're even gonna try to hold, get the force on second, or do they know that this game is just gonna Uber into last anyway?
They'll spam a little bit, but
they have to know it's coming.
They're willing to give it up for the most part, but they'll spam a little bit. Like they slowed him down a bit just to get the gun up. The gun's level 2 now, which is like respectable, but I mean, it's kind of rough. 20% ad. I don't know. They probably don't know exactly like to the T how much, so I guess it makes sense that Witness
Gaming
Gaming
it'd be a little risky.
Yeah, they know like, hey, we got like
Plus
3 yards.
They have a 2-run advantage. I think that's also why they're playing so slow partially, is they know they have a 2-run advantage, so they do have the luxury of time, whereas there's going to be a certain point where if no one gets around here, where G6 are going to start feeling a little time pressure in, you know, like 7 or 6 minutes.
The timing. Howard, the rockets from Ash. He didn't even need to hit that rocket. The force did come out, but that was quite the bomb. Didn't even need Yite to come in, but just a little bit of extra support there, and that timing was very, very good. Howard found completely alone by his shutter, just straight over his teammates. I think no one was watching upper at the time, so the 2-man will find success.
I don't know if it's just not watching doors, but the biggest thing I've noticed so far is these bombs on Howard are getting right onto him. Like, even if Howard would hit God Surfs here, the second player would probably get the force anyway. You know, it feels like either the doors aren't being watched, or players are just getting way too deep too consistently. Although Brand Slam dying that's gonna put a little damper on Witness Gaming plans here. Down your combo scout, not ideal, but it's still pushable. They still have 40% to work with, and they're just actually okay. Here they go.
Laz is in super early. The Uber will come out, though. I guess he was trying to bait someone to go in, but no one took it. They're bombing in. Logan pop out of the air, drop low, will die. Yite immediately going to the point to tap it to bring in the soldiers, getting onto the point. They're going to lose 2. Actually losing Artisan, Logai as well. Just a bloodbath over by the pipes area. 3v3 scenario. Medic alive for the side of G6. So that's going to elongate the fight at least a little bit. They have the health.
So
trying to fight with the last bit of health they have. The side of Witness. Howard popped up in the corner, dropped low, but will eventually kill the people that are on him. So Artist, last one left alive. He died in the middle of the fight, rolling out, not quite there. Successful hold from G6, holding on to their Uber and retaking 2. Probably taking yard for free. No, they're going through.
Yeah, I was gonna say somebody died to that. Okay, he tried the blind dead, it did not work. What a good attempt. So setting back up on mid now, and G6 have a really big Uber to work with. And speaking of which, Witness Gaming, they're gonna lose one immediately.
Did I hear a Liberty Launcher?
That is a Liberty Launcher. Yes, that's a Liberty Launcher.
I immediately heard that. Sounds like what is going on?
I heard that too, and I was.
The Brand Slam killing Logan though.
Brand Slam killing Logan, and they're gonna get the force here. But I think everyone at Witness is gonna die for this. Soapy's gonna be the lead if he launches Yite so high with this jump. But in the end, Witness Gaming are gonna have an Uber to work with. And the Liberty Launcher theory, I don't understand it, but I approve of it. You know, he's still on it. He's just on the. You know, it has more rockets.
I don't think. I mean, let's be real. There's not like a real reason why he's on it.
You have more rockets. Maybe he's like, I'm getting.
Yeah, but your burst is worse. Oh,
he just won. He just 3 rockets in bot mode.
That's because bot mode is a low health class.
I'm just maybe he knows he's getting in so deep that he can get the 3rd rocket off after he double jumps with the rockets. You know, it's Laz is the mental calculations going on in his head right now have to be just genius level.
Oh, Sophie caught on a
He's
little
getting
bit.
2 kills with the Liberty Launcher.
Yeah, but it's not because of the Liberty Launcher, though.
That's true. He could have done any of those things with the rocket launcher.
Yeah, but even Ubers, they have a pick on the side of Soapy to be able to use, as well as bot mode, who's not quite there yet. So Laz on the chase once again. Nice rocket onto Rakuso, but not going to find enough damage to collect the kill. So Sack going to be unsuccessful while the rest of Witness Gaming try to lock down the doors for an incoming G6, maybe poking around to see what's available. Not necessarily guaranteed push out, but they have some options.
Yeah, we'll have to see that. We have the scouts trying to play Minesweeper here, but they just keep putting him down as they clear room hits. Well, what can you do?
I think Soapy was thinking about going drop down for a second there, but he changed his mind halfway through.
The only time we saw someone go drop down was when Yate like juked the entirety of G6. And other than that, I feel like no one's really gone drop down yet. And I'm waiting to see. No one's really, no one's watched it. I see Yite just taunting, scout on granary. Nothing else. He's just nothing else that maybe. There are some places where you can taunt and you can see into like drop down. So maybe he's doing that, or it's just scout on granary. So he has literally nothing better to do.
Ooh, the lunchbox play. Trying to force out the enemy teams so they can get their sacks a little bit deeper from a different angle. We have some, actually a lot of the classes, including the medic, are up on top here. But Ash is going to fall, and Artist as well. The push from Bob, making sure the Shutter people are dying.
And it's just 13K.
It's just Yite and Loga left alive, and Loga going to escape through the drop down. There's your drop down play, but it's a little bit defensive. Has to use the Uber getting out, and that play from Witness, that was dismantled very heavily by the defense of G6 from literally pretty much all angles, every single door. They won their fight.
Yeah, that was just, Witness tried to go for kind of a longer developing play, and it just was not in the cards. And Caps is 5 kills away from having his ping be lower than his kill streak, which is very distressing.
True, he has 3 DOMs. He's on a roll right now.
Yeah,
but Sad could keep it rolling as well. Oh, Loga took a little bit of damage from that trap and the Laz bomb.
Though.
Yeah, enough to get the force though, because Logan is so weak. So now they're trying to chase the way through Z, getting any kills they can, but Ash unable to escape in time. So no soldiers for the side of Witness.
They might try to steamroll this. Yep,
yeah,
yes,
yeah,
they
they're
are.
keeping the train rolling.
There's
they
no
know
off classes
that
to
Logan
deal
doesn't have
Artist
yet.
is
They're
trying
just
to
in.
bomb.
Yeah, Rakusa's doing so much
Here
damage
comes
to
the
him,
bomb,
falling down,
Artist
gonna
is
take fall
so
damage
hurt.
and die. Damage on
this
to
should be
Logai.
red
Yeah,
red. Yep,
that's
there it is.
a
That was a very clean. I really like that dry fight from them. They knew that they weren't really ready and in position, so that was very clean. So G6 getting back on the board with a 2-3 here, and sadly Caps did not get a kill streak higher than his ping. But 15, you gotta, 15 kill streak on Granary pocket skit. You gotta take.
That's
those.
respectable.
Yeah, that's pretty good. That is kind of the Caps thing. I feel like Grand Slam 2 to a certain extent, just not dying on pocket skit. Speaking of which, here comes another mid.
Yeah, we got a little bit of a nail biter here. It's 3-2.
I really like how long the mids are. I get to talk more, like the rollouts are so long.
Artist
no!
Very
he's
spooky.
so hurt.
Very
oh
spooky.
My God.
Scout stealing arrows, but bomb
Howard
onto
is
Howard.
also
Damage from Laz. Lands on the pack, but it's not enough. Still dies. The bomb from Laz gonna find success. Artist will fall though. Bomb from Rakusa collecting that kill.
Players going behind. Caps going behind. Gonna get bombed by Ash, so unable to do anything. But Logan gonna be able to shoot here. It just Caps behind. We'll see what he can do, but this is not gonna end too well. So another mid win for WJ. I feel like Witness Gaming definitely been on top of the mids, I'd say. I feel like their mids have been cleaner overall, in my opinion.
Laz kind of bombed in and just solo killed Howard. So with Logai just playing in the corner, you just have your entire rest of the team that's alive healed up and can win the longevity of the fight.
Howard literally even Goomba stomped. Yeah, he literally Goomba stomped onto Laz, and that was, I guess that's not a good thing to do as a medic if you're on top of the enemy soldier's head.
I mean,
and you don't have Uber.
It's something because he took the pack too to elongate his life and still died.
Yeah,
so like
that might be a team, not lack of focus fire, people too distracted. Well, yeah, we'll have to see.
Laz just lived a long time, so now they're in a good spot. They got full ad. Bring it immediately through the pipe onto the gun. Artist dropped a little bit low from the mismanaged flash, but Rakuso popped up the air shot and is going to the holy Rakuso put in the sad zone, just juggled for Aiden's bomb, initiating onto the scouts. Howard's going to fall. 3 pillars left alive for the side of G6, trying to initiate onto the remaining players. Dropped one pretty low. The sword, oh, put the sword away.
Another low guy kill.
Oh, he got it.
Wait, he got 2?
He got both those. What?
Okay, little guy, first place, most meta kills of the season.
He's at 5 now.
Yeah, five meta kills in one match. I guess that's just the great. I don't know if it's Grainer here, just little guy's a genius. Who knows? But little guy, first place, most meta kills, RGL season, whatever season we're in.
I mean, he's gonna be first because it's it's the first match.
I'm calling it here, first place. No, I'm saying throughout the whole season, I don't think he's gonna lose that. 5 kills is a pretty insurmountable advantage.
It's a pretty nice start, but going into another mid, gonna see what's in store for us. A lot of damage on both sides right off the bat from the dome, and immediately double bomb coming from the
He
blue
almost
soldier's
died
power
this
is
game.
just inside the garage area to not die to that bomb coming in from Laz and Ash. But Laz is gonna give him life for that.
Oh, direct
Bomb's
speed
coming
on the
in.
side of
Yeah,
Witness
they're
Gaming.
oh, Brain Slam gonna die here. Oh mate, almost took out Logan. That would have been really good for the side of Witness Gaming, but G6 find what they need, keeping themselves alive in this game. Got 2 kills, taking a mid, and now trying to force their way into the opposing team's left yard.
Yep, they don't have Uber quite yet because, you know, Howard kind of had to juke and dodge a bit. Hash is going to fall. They're trying to either get a force or just in a little too deep. So Ubers are going to equalize here, but they're going to try to take second. This is going to be a tall order trying to take the second. The spam classes are here and ready. So we're going to see the yard to second stalemate. So that's I don't know if that's a new one for this match. Actually, we're not going to see that. They want to take an exchange, and Bot Mode is super caught out.
Yeah, trades happening all around when it comes to players live.
Players are
collecting
falling
2
left
though.
and right on the
Rakusa's still
flank though,
alive.
and Artist is so hurt. They're gonna drop Artist.
Oh, the timing.
It's just a scout duo. It's like ulti duo, but scouts. I don't think there's a name for that.
Yeah, I don't think
It's just
there is
2v2.
either.
It's just 2v2 MG.
Yeah, except for medics. So.
Yeah, with medics. Well, I mean, Low Guy's proved medic is a fragging class. Definitely a large fragging class. And Bot Mode briefly on sniper, but just getting forwards. Gonna end up rolling out. So Ubers are going to be equal, but G6 got to be pretty happy with that. They have 8 minutes left to get 2 rounds to tie it up at a minimum. So if G6 going to get back in this game, they can't stalemate too hard, you know? Or maybe that will be their plan. They just hope they win the next mid. We'll have to see.
Oh, well, they killed Soapy, so that's a good start for this hole to kind of keep things elongated. But I'm not really sure if they're going to try to push out too hard. They have a heavy on the field.
Complaining about the map in chat. You love to see the Zoomer complaining about greenery. It already happened.
Oh,
And Art's actually going to
Rakuso.
fall super early. But they're going to trade 2 for that. I don't know if you take that. So they're, you know, that's a 4v3. And they're going to drop Logan. Howard doesn't have, oh, he has 98%, no one to heal.
Oh, Soapy's with him now, so he can get a Zoomer, but with just a soldier, if he's forced here, it could, oh, the headshot rocket from Ash. I think Ash might die here. Yeah, not enough help to rocket jump away, but getting that force is huge for his team.
There. Soapy committing, trying to get something, doesn't end up working out. Crouches in a corner, knows he's dead.
Making sure that Howard can get out.
Yep, that is a good play, getting Howard out.
Oh, they're behind. They're not even out. Howard. Oh, Howard
that's a
in
heads
bot
up
mode.
play.
Howard
Wait.
left alone.
Oh,
I didn't.
wait, how did that
he
happen? What?
He was following bot mode, who's behind right now, and then second
Bot
guessed
mode is
himself
on
and
last.
tried to go back. Yeah.
It's okay. Bot mode's hurt versus Laz, but it's a soldier v scout. I don't know what's happening. This is very
We're starting to see the
chaotic.
desperation. They're trying.
Yeah.
They're going for desperation plays
I
and
think
trying
they
to
had
go
the time to
behind,
not-
and then
yeah.
they changed their mind,
Bot
but there
mode's
was
versus
no one
2
behind
soldiers.
him.
Yeah, this is I as much as I want to watch the bot mode POV here, they're probably gonna push into second off this. They know it's a 4v5, 4v4, something like that. Soapy's trying to wall buck and didn't hit it, so he has to jump out. Sad.
Yeah, left yard is relatively free. No bot mode, no Rakusa, but they're actually going to go through right yard, trying to do some damage onto Logan. Really weak, and actually going to kill Howard instead.
Oh, they're gonna get Logan.
It's starting to crumble. G6
Yeah, this is a little bit of a crumble. Caps is gonna win a 1v1 versus 8, or is he? He's thinking about it. Oh, the pistol.
No! Yeah, he wins that, and he taunts.
The taunt.
Oh no!
That's
It's just Soapy who's in the play, is able to get Yai as a consolation prize, but not enough health to really block this for the long term. So just getting on the point,
And they're on
able
the point.
to wrap this up.
That's the game.
Yeah, that's a 5-1. What a match!
I must say, if you're Witness Gaming, that might have been the funniest way to end it, with Caps just beefing really hard and then losing. But overall, a pretty solid game from Witness Gaming overall. I'd say, you know, it's greenery. There are some hiccups here and there, but a 5-2, I think you take that. Especially, you know, kind of a X Factor map, first map of the season. You got to be pretty happy with those results.
Yeah, and honestly, I think same could be kind of said for G6, because going up against a team that won the previous season, it's like you got a lot on your plate there realistically. So to even put up some sort of performance that can go on for so long and put some rounds on the board, that's not, you know, not too bad of a job. So curious to see what's going to happen later on in the season when both teams have more experience on, well, maybe not necessarily this map, because I don't know if it's going to get played again for this matchup per se, but you know, especially for G6, the more time they play with each other, the stronger they'll become. So curious to see how the matchup is going to work out. One, on a map that, you know, it's people will grind a little bit more in terms of map choice, and then 2, the synergy between the two teams will, you know, might be a little bit closer depending on how G6 develops. But go ahead and take a look at some of the stats from the second round and see what's up. You got anything that catches your eye there?
I see a little bit of difference between damage and demos, but I don't think it's significant. You know, Logan is trying to play his life, and a lot of times you just have to back up and just watch traps and that kind of stuff. I do see that the 2 and 4 from Lol Guy again, so Old guy, once again, I don't know. I don't know if I'm gonna call it med diff, since a lot of things are out of your control, especially if people are sacking and getting like 10 rockets off. But there's definitely a lot of Lol guy was playing a very, very good game of Team Fortress 2 that game overall. Even disregarding the kills, he was just playing almost a flawless meta game. I'd say very, very good.
Yeah, it was a pretty stellar performance. I mean, realistically, when you look at the logs, you have to remember that this half was a 2-1. Maybe the combined would tell a little bit of a different story, but to see differences that aren't too great
Now, what
when
do
you
you
look at these
see?
stat lines, there's not really too much that's like crazy different.
Laz
The
is in
o-
the sad zone, but it's more soldier.
Yeah, the only thing that you can really see that's super different is that Soapy was definitely trying to or maybe not trying to, but he definitely succeeded in putting out a lot of damage on Roamer. But maybe the combine will tell a little bit of a different story because it's probably going to be more witness dominant. You can already see when you look at the combined logs what thing
Yep.
you talked about, the medic death difference is one of the things that can be kind of glaring.
The damage difference still in the damage diff is still in like a G6 favor, even though they lost, and the frag diff is actually only one off. So Windows Gaming, 3 rounds and only a 1 frag difference. So I think that to me indicates that might have been better at their transitions, just pushing from point to point and making sure their advantages actually were advantages.
Makes a statement on how much control they had throughout the game as well,
Yeah.
because you can get fed like sacks and to boost up your kill stat throughout a match as well. So if Witness Gaming wins the match, but the kill stats are like pretty close, and it just shows how much control they had over mid and then a second throughout a large chunk of the match to be for sure like sacking one of their own people.
And I will say, I believe it was Yite and Laz. The people who are sacking Witness Gaming I don't know if it was them playing amazing or, like a G6 not playing well, but their sacks were so effective it was distressing. I don't know, they were getting onto Howard almost every time.
Yeah, well, we do have some people funneling in for interviews. We have Loga here as well as a witness. How you guys doing?
Hi.
Hey, I'm doing pretty good.
So let's go ahead and talk about the match. Let's go ahead and I think this was the opposing team's pick. So, do you have any initial thoughts about when you saw that the map was going to be the map that it's been a bit since it's been played? Granary, I think it was ESEA season 31.
It was played in RGL about a year ago, I'm pretty sure.
Was it?
Yeah. Because it was played, and I remember they played it in grand finals with 100 Beasts and Froyo. And that's when
100
Jay went
Beast.
nuclear.
Which season was that?
That was
Season
2.
Oh,
pretty
okay.
sure.
That was a while ago. Season
Oh,
2.
it's
Yeah.
okay.
I
Well,
think
still
that might have been
decent
like
long
Yeah, that was
like
still
a
like
year and a half ago.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, that's like eons into 2
Yeah,
years. Honestly.
well, I mean, with everything going on now, it feels like 5 years.
Yeah. It do be like that.
But for Logai, was the transition like going from you have all your players together from the previous season, so you got some synergy going, but you're throwing a new map in the mix for everyone to get familiar with. Do you think it was easy to get everyone on the same page, or were there some things to try to overcome trying to prep for this match when it comes to Granary?
It was a struggle at some times because some of our players have played it for a while, like Ash, Laz, and Yate. But then me, Artis, and Brensom really haven't played it that much, so we were kind of learning it still as we were playing the match.
The Zoomer versus Boomer gameplay.
And we saw some adaptation go out throughout the first half. It didn't really start your way in the very beginning. G6 kind of led right off the bat, but you guys were able to, recognize some problems and fix some things. Can you talk about some of the things you made when it comes to adjustments to try to, put yourselves in the driver's seat to start strong in the first half?
It just felt like we were rushing pushes. And the map's so big that you need your whole team buffed, so we were taking Ubers that were pretty bad. So we had to calm it down.
Okay. So I'm sure when it comes to season goals, you're trying to go for the repeat appearance, but it got a whole lot of different types of teams that are going to be showing up. Do you have any teams in particular that you're really looking forward to playing in particular when it comes to the whole, I guess, 7 opponents you got slated up against you guys for this upcoming season?
I really wanted to play against this team. I like a lot of the players on the other team, and they're my friends, so I thought it'd be fun.
Yeah, there are definitely some members of the whole guy fan club on the other team. What some could say.
I love Caps.
How do you guys feel? Speaking of other teams, looking forward a little to the season, how do you feel about playing against some of the other top teams, especially Froyo with their whole revamped roster?
I don't. I don't care about their new roster.
You don't?
We have the same roster, so I don't know.
Just gotta focus on
looking
yourself.
to win again.
Witness, do you have any initial thoughts about the upcoming season? I'm sure you're happy to be, sponsoring all the same guys that won the previous one.
Well, I think it's a really good group, and I'm really happy to let me be involved. I sit and watch scrims a lot, and seeing them all kind of develop and kind of refine during the week leading up to match time is super solid. I think any challenge the season presents, they can easily overcome if there will even be any. No fear against Froyo. All I gotta say.
Just don't let Benny live at your house, bro.
Yeah, no, Benny, listen. I know you're in chat. If I see you in finals, you are not staying at my house.
All right, well, I'm really hyped to see what's going to be happening later on in the season with all these other matchups. For Froyo, the rematch versus these guys, and everything to see where you guys fall. So best of luck to you guys, but it's probably time to go over to the shout-out phase before we go ahead and wrap up the stream. Do you guys have any shouts before we close things out?
Shout out my team. Shout out Laz. I really stuck through that game.
Anything from you, Witness?
Shout out the boys. Everyone on this Witness Gaming roster, everyone who came before. Shout out Caps. That's a big one. Old guy should be ashamed to miss that. Shout out Laz. Like, Laz really was working some miracles there. Low guy too, being I could think you're like the medic leading frags in the league. That's really dope.
I predicted end of the season.
Yeah,
guy, number one frags on medic.
Space Ghost, I'll put $20 on the season.
So would I. I would put money on that.
$20? $20 right now, end of season.
Yeah, but we agree. That's
okay. I'll say he'll get
I bet I'll get more kills on medic than Cap gets on scout.
Oh, that's gonna be tough.
True. I'll take this. Okay, so if little guy gets 5 more kills than your prediction, I'll cough up $20.
May.
Okay, I'll hold you to that.
I'm a man of my word.
Any shoutouts from you, Space?
Shout out to production. Shout out to all the viewers watching. Shout out to Rakusa Spy from Entertainment for the Night. I love Rakusa Spy. I just love seeing
True.
it. That's all my shout outs. Shout out to Skis. I almost forgot.
Classic. And definitely shout out to the teams for playing and putting on a show. Can't have a season without the teams participating, and I'm getting ready for the next upcoming weeks of games to be shown on this channel. But that's about it from us. If you want to catch more, I think there's probably going to be another match tomorrow, and even if there isn't, there's always Highlander on Monday that you can catch as well over the weekend. But for tonight, that's going to be it for us. I've been Jarrett, casting with Space Ghost, with Dolphin on production. Thank you and good night.
Good night.